Hey guys, yeah, I just opened my preparation beverage. Welcome to a very Mary Sue review of Old Magic. We're finally finishing up. Finally. This is going to be ridiculously long because we have this much left of the book to breeze through because I hate myself. Anyways, we last left off with Kate locked in a tower with Rauk. And he's offering her ultimate power, gonna kill Jared, blah, 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 blah. Malcolm is probably betraying her, she thinks, but, you know, the one appropriate time to mind probe somebody, she doesn't flipping do it. So now we're on chapter 28, and it's still from Kate's point of view, this time. We have, actually my notes here are just, I'll read you the passage and then I'll give you my notes. The challenge is delivered by a white dove just before sunset. The challenge from Jared to Rauk, and my note just says, "Are you fucking kidding me?" And then it continues with, "I'm with Rauk in the tower, my hands shackled together with irons as Malcolm suggested, watching with a sickening dread as Rauk finishes his cursed wine," because he's using wine to curse Jared's family. This has been so long. And my note for that is, I swear to fucking God. Glances at Kate with a sickening, self-satisfied grin, and the white dove makes itself known. Because when you're a bird, you need to announce your presence, really. It's, you know, it's not enough to just be a bird flying into a room where birds normally aren't. You have to announce it. Like, hey guys. It doesn't even make itself known. It hasn't even flippin' landed. It's just there, outside the window, and Rauk happened to notice it. The bird did jack shit to get noticed. And the dove has yet to land on the fucking window ledge. It has taken an entire page for the dove to land on the window ledge. And he examines it before he can read the message. It talks way too much. Not once does he show fear. Has he ever flipping showed fear throughout this entire, like, book? He gives no shits, you guys. He's come on, Kate. Oh. His eyes find mine. The full boy has dared to challenge me. Like, you were just goading him into it, you little shit. Like, of course he did. And Kate is super surprised and terrified and going on. Jared is just a gawky, clumsy kid who can't see properly without his glasses. That's the whole fucking point of glasses, Kate. Way to go. You hit the nail on the head. I wonder who helped him write the challenge. Like, for someone madly in love with him, you're kind of mean, Kate. Kate is thinking about if only she could be there to help him. Maybe our talents combined, they can get Captain Planet, who can actually get some fucking shit done in this goddamn book. Rauk interrupts my thoughts. He requests a duel. Duel? By sword on neutral ground. Kate, come on. This is terrible news. Swords are heavy. It takes really, Kate? Swords are heavy? It takes years of training to be able to handle one with any form of skill. You know, that's the first, like, rational thing she said yet. But, you know, of course, Jared's mastered it in the past, like, couple of days? 3 weeks. It's been 3 weeks. In the past couple of weeks, you know Jared's mastered this shit. And she's begging for Jared to go unharmed. Because Rauk has her, and he's like, yes, I do have you and the curse, but it's not my fault that boy man, really, Rauk? You're like an evil villain who murdered the nuns that raised him, and there's implied, like, other things to the nuns that raised you, and that's the worst insult you can come up with, is that boy man? God. Has no foresight. Obviously he can't see his own death looming in the coming dawn. I shall make it a vivid reality. God. I'm just, oh God. And Kate's like, I want to be there. And he's like, of course you do. I wouldn't have it any other way. His eyes narrow, assessing me. But I will have to do something to stop you from interfering. Rauk, you were so freaking creepy. Like, you're not even threatening at this point. You're just kind of, you make me uncomfortable, honestly. And Kate shouts, "No!" in italics. And, "God, he's one step ahead of me every time. How can anyone beat this logic? That wasn't logic!" Why? I watch sickeningly as Rauk excitedly starts gathering bits and pieces from around his lab. An herb, a vial of blue liquid, a mix of powders. My head swivels from side to side. Grinning, he comes at me with a frothing liquid mixture. It's a drug, of that I'm sure. Really, Kate? What? Your powers of observation are astounding. And this is really, bordering into, uncomfortable for me. Apparently, she only needs a few drops to drain her energies, and it won't taste too bad. Thoughtful, Rauk. Thanks for that. Rauk, you, my pretty lady, had better get to bed, for tonight death will be your bedfellow. Do not be alarmed. He will not claim you, but simply take your strength. And my note here says, I'm 98% sure death has better things to do. Also, it's creepy, death's hey, sleepover, buddies, we're gonna braid each other's hair, and then I'm gonna take all of your energy and leave. Moisture fills my eyes, but I don't care that Rauk or the devil himself sees my tears. I'm too drained to stop them. Rauk leaves me with a bitter taste of hatred in my mouth, and death for company. And again, I wrote, "Are you fucking kidding me?" And they're really kind of going with this death thing. They're clinging to it pretty hard. The bedfellow company, it's not death. It's extreme fatigue. Extreme fatigue is your bedfellow. That's what it is. Death is not going to just make you tired. I'm pretty sure death goes a little further than that, for the most part. We're still from Kate's point of view. It's a new chapter now. He dresses me like a queen, all royal red and gold silk, my hair twisted into a coil about my head. Every time there is a Sue that's gonna have some dramatic moment with her, man love, the villain has to make her look pretty, because God forbid the Sue not be dressed in a magnificent ball gown with her hair all done up for a dramatic moment. It can't happen. It's unacceptable. He looks compelling, Rauk still. All-powerful. I am nothing more than a rag doll. My limbs unnaturally heavy, memories of last night's drugged, nightmare-filled sleep slowly but thankfully receding. I made a note to look up how long sedatives last. I did not, so... But it's still kind of creepy that she's like, I'm drugged and completely helpless, but Rauk, the guy who drugged me, he's looking pretty hot, right? No, Kate, stop it. And they're on the cliffs for the duel. Rauk is dragging her to the edge of the cliff, so she's, properly situated for the battle, of course. And then Jared rides into view at dawn. God. He looks formidable, and my heart, struggling to increase its pace, beats a little harder at the sight of him. He's dressed all in gold. The Thornton crest with 2 white doves hovering over a purple rose blazes on his tunic front. Yeah, terrifying. That's how I'd frighten my enemies, with purple roses. Even Richard's most able knights will be useless in this duel of magic. Yep. Except, it's pretty hard to defend against flaming oil, and I think they could have used that. They really should have thought this through. Someone has some flaming oil, Jared's gonna be distracting Rauk. Light this bitch on fire. Come on, you guys. Jared sits on the white and speckled gray stallion, as if he were born on the creature's broad back. 3 weeks ago, he couldn't even get on a frickin' horse. Really, you guys? Really? He appears calm and confident. There's no hint of the gawky, clumsy kid I once knew. Can we go, one flipping description of him without calling him gawky or clumsy? Red tints in his blonde hair gleaming brilliantly in the rising sun. Gracefully he dismounts. His eyes travel over me thoroughly, searching for signs of mistreatment, I guess. They narrow and harden when he finds my bruised and swollen jaw, because, Rauk, backhanded her or something when she, spit on him, I think. I don't know. He stares at me a moment longer, trying, I think, to send some strength, but my drugged mind can't respond or absorb any of it. It certainly, yeah, I made a comment about her mind certainly absorbing the slight narrowing of his eyes. And it's only been 3 weeks, mind you. 3 weeks, and he's no longer clumsy or awkward, and he rides like a pro. My nephew arrives, Varrock remarks casually, smugly, a foolish challenge that will result in your death. Look at the sun, Jared. A beautiful dawn. It will be your last. Brave words, Jared replies with a calm confidence that takes me by surprise. Even in my numb brain state, it makes me dare to hope. From a man who sees the need to use a woman's distraction to win a battle. And it says, I swear to fucking God, Jared, I will hit you. Yeah. Yeah. I wish I could, if only. Ralph makes snakes circle Jared's body. That's really, like, we've already been over the snakes thing. You would have gotten over it. I recall Jillian's frightful vision, so this is what she foresaw. I thought the snakes were supposed to represent the curse. I thought that was like a whole thing they went into earlier. Whatever. I wonder if I'll ever be able to tell her. I also remember Jared's repulsion, his fear of snakes, just in case we forgot it, you guys. I would be much more impressed if this were symbolic of the curse surrounding him instead of literal snakes. That's my note there. Classy. Emmeline stares with fixed wide eyes. Morgana starts screaming. Isabel hisses at her. Who's Morgana? Was she the maid? She was the maid. Isabel hisses at her. Richard raises a threatening arm. Horror is written on their faces. Clearly this is Jared's battle, but he can't just stand there. A bite from even one of the foul, evil creatures would probably kill. Come on, you guys. He's sweating. A snake is about to bite his neck, and the snakes begin to slide down his legs. Even the one staring at him threateningly suddenly turns away and slides down Jared's leg to the ground and into surrounding dry scrub. Are they in Ireland? Like, I don't... They're just letting snakes loose there? I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to do that. Or I'm pretty sure people didn't do that. Whatever, I'm just gonna... Don't do this at home. He won the first round, I realized, but this is nothing to jump and shout about. He may have outsmarted Rauch by raising his own body temperature, okay, that's what he did, to a point that made the snakes want to get off fast, but now Rauch is incensed. Jared making him look like a fool. My note says, how do you figure this out if you're so drugged up? And also, nobody got anywhere with that. That's not round one. Round one is when someone gets hit, okay? When someone gets hit, come and talk to me about people winning that round. And Jared's teasing Rauch. Rauch's like, so eager to die, I shall be only too pleased to oblige. Like, what next? I wonder in alarm. Everything is so dramatic with you, Kate. Silver Flash. Oh, wow. Silver Flash suddenly charges out from Rauch's clasped fingers. An explosion of energy, light, and intense heat like a blast from a hot furnace. You mean a lightning bolt? It hits me full in the face. Your face better be burned, Kate, because that's it. Logic. And jolts me backward. Beneath my legs, rocks tumble, the cliff edge giving away. Using any remaining fragments of strength I can find, I scramble forward, enough at least to stop from dropping with the crumbling cliff edge. You're bound by your hands and your feet, and you're drugged up out of your mind. And somehow, Ralph, like, I'm pretty sure he just kind of laid her on her back from the description earlier. No, but I'm going to skip back now. But, like, oh, wow, Ralph's produced a sword of his own invention. It has a sharp, silvery look, yet moves in seductive waves with red tips. It's a sword of fire. Jared's not looking at Rauch's sword. He's looking at Kate. Then he finally turns back to Rauch, who snatches the advantage. Too long hesitation. Everybody's screaming for Jared. Jared throws himself to the ground, rolling out of the way. Smart move, Jared. Rauch is shrieking as he spins around to catch him. "'Tis not a fair fight," someone calls. "I don't play fair, my lady," Rauch replies smugly. He's enjoying this. God, I kind of... Don't worry, Lady Isabel, Jared replies, and with these words he raises his hands, puts them together, almost as if he were aiming a pistol. But a pistol, though it would certainly give him the advantage, is out of the question. He knows this. We can't introduce something that will not be invented for hundreds of years, but you can introduce snakes. It would change the course of history, something we would never intentionally do, except for snakes. Our presence here alone raises many questions, some of which we refuse to even think about. What effect will our time here have on the future? You're just not thinking about this? Really? So I know Jared will not produce a pistol. That takes like 2 fucking paragraphs for you to get to that cake. Come on. He flashes me a quick warning. I prepare as best I can for the effect. How does he flash a warning? He's creating his own sword, and it erupts like a lightning strike. And they're fighting with the magic swords. Apparently, Jared and Rauk are doing really well, even though they're setting fire to everything, which is, give them that. At least they had that happen. And Jared is better. Not better. He kind of gets stabbed in the side a little bit. And he's on fire. Thank God. Who hasn't wanted to set Jared on fire at some point? Let's be real here. Jared puts out his own fire. Richard goes to help them. Morgana helps because she's kind of witchy and nurse-y, I guess. They're still fighting. They fight to the death, to Jared's insistence. They're going to set fire to everything. And everybody's freaking out about the keeps now. They're all distracted by the keeps. Jared is, once Rauk was concerned about his keep burning down, Jared attacks him. And Rauk tries to fling Jared off, but Jared is finding an inner strength that goes far beyond mortality. With an almighty scream, Jared raises his sword, both hands tightly clasping the hilt, and lunges it straight and true. Of course he does. The crow comes and tries to take Jared, and Malcolm saves him by throwing his sword to Jared, and Jared kills the crow. And who is Rauk? And Rauk calls out Eloise, the original woman he was obsessed with, as he dies. And that's pretty much the gist of it. And they're explaining everything that happened to each other, which we already know. And they're screaming about the fire. Because they're trapped. And they think they're all going to die. And they could use the amulets to get back home and fuck over Jared's ancestors, which means that Jared wouldn't exist. So he peers into my eyes as if he can read what I'm thinking. I could never desert my family, Kate. My mouth drops open in awe. He did read my thoughts. His gift must be immense. Kate, you've been reading people's thoughts for like 5 fucking years. Well, I was gonna go with 5 fucking ever, but kind of changed my mind. I'm just, this is emotionally exhausting, really. It's over, we live. Jared puts out the thing by calling rain, and then Rauk's crow appears, but it's on fire. So that's sad. Because that crow kind of, like, I don't think the crow really had it coming. It was only, it was just a pet. Poor guy. Thornton Keep is celebrating. Emmeline follows us everywhere, not allowing us a minute of privacy. She's edgy, barely tolerating my presence, but is hanging all over Jared, of fucking course. If anything, I begin to think she's particularly distressed that I've returned safely. I don't like this feeling at all. Later I get a chance to quiz Jared, but he's totally unconcerned. She was just born 1,000 years too early, he explains. She's bored and frustrated. Malcolm says he's trying to talk his father into sending her to the court. Blah, 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 nobody cares, blah, 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 and then they realize that the wine that they're drinking in the celebration is the cursed wine, and Rauch's been sending it to them for years, all along. So they didn't actually prevent the curse. But, if you recall, a way to break the curse would be by Jared killing the person who laid the curse on them. So the curse is broken for the future, but not for them. And they figured that out. And now we're on the return back home. Jared says that Kate makes him promise never to read her thoughts, no matter the circumstances. Really, Kate? Really? You've been reading his thoughts and everybody else's thoughts this entire book, and now you're getting nitpicky when somebody else can do it? This agreement makes things easier between us. Oh, you guys. They're standing by the creek in the forest. No, they arrive by the creek in the forest where Jillian is still standing, keeping watch. They were only away a few hours, even though they were there for over a month, and, you know, the other time. Darkens quickly with candles extinguished. Kate has not completely recovered from Rauch's drugs. Nobody cares. They're joking about Emmeline's crush and how she almost came back with them, startling them both with her presence just as they were saying the Latin chant. And so Jared stunned her thoughts long enough for them to escape. It's awful. Oh, look, she becomes a mistress of an earl. Even though they're earls, they have to make her miserable because she's, how dare she challenge Kate for Jared's affections. So she has to be miserable because the earl's wife makes her miserable. Blah-bitty, blah-bitty, blah. And the curse is broken, it's a miracle, everybody's fine with Jared's family. Kate's powers are gone. They haven't come back. That's great for you, because, and Jared says that he has enough magic for both of them. And Kate goes, it's great for you, and no offense, but it's hard living with the idea that you'll always be stronger than me. I want my own powers back so we can be equal. Didn't you say earlier that he was much stronger than you when it came to powers, and you were jealous of that, and that was going to be a thing, but we never really addressed it? Whatever. Jared, I've lived with these things all my life. I feel like I've lost an arm, or worse, part of my soul. I know the second the thought hits here. Of course, your powers are so extensive now, fueled with old magic. Again, capitalized and italicized. There must be something you can do. You beat Rauch once, maybe you can do it again, because it's his drug that did this to me. And they're trying to get her powers back. And he's asking Kate how much power would make her happy. And he ignores her request never to read her thoughts. And she's thinking about the weather and how she's always wanted to manipulate it, but she couldn't. And he gave her part of his powers. I was in your head, she says in a rush. You did things to me. You gave me powers. You've been in his head before. And, God, you're just... She can control the... Why does it spell tires with a Y? I wonder if that's a regional thing. They're inside Jillian's shop after now Kate has some of Jared's powers. And in come Tasha Daniels and Jessica Palmer with Ryan and Pex, you know, the jocks, and the other girls. Hey bro, Pex sickeningly slaps my back. How's your pop? Heard he was in the hospital. Better, thanks. Wait, I mean, I get he was an asshole, but he's kind of being nice now. There's no reason to be a dick about it. Tasha slips her long fingers into the crook of my elbow. Jillian is nowhere to be seen, and Kate starts disappearing into the background, instinctively searching for a quiet, unnoticeable corner. Blah, blah, blah. Tasha's purring at him. Dismisses Kate. Talking about the fancy dress party that Kate wasn't invited to. They haven't acknowledged Kate. And then Jared's all like, I won't be picking you up, Tasha. I'm going with Kate. And thank God it's finally over. That is the end, you guys. Yay. It's done. That is literally the end. That's like the worst ending ever. But it's over.